Welcome back. Let's put this in the ether right now. You know what? There's a difference between men and female, right? When it comes to complaints, right? Men don't often complain a lot. We usually put out what we get in life, right? Guys are usually not whiners. If a guy's a whiners, complain about everything in his life, those are simps, right? Simps are the only one who complain and lie, saying this is unfair. I'm a victim. That, and the third. Not praying, marching in these stupid protests, complaining all that stuff. It takes a lot for a guy to complain, right? For a guy, honest working guy, blue collar job guy, right? It takes a lot for them to complain. It takes like a situation where it's like he put in too much time in a company, and suddenly the company doesn't give him his pension, right? Then he flipped out. That's a fair ground to be complaining about, because you put all this time and effort to one company that they told you that you're guaranteed a retirement, and something went wrong that they can't provide that. That's a proper thing to complain about, right? I see that's a proper thing to complain about. But generally in life, right, guy can't complain. Guys usually have to put up what they get in life, right? Why do you think a lot of guys out there who are plumbers, bricklayers, linemen, garbage men, sewage workers, right? They realize this is not an ideal job, right? It's not an ideal job, but it pays well. So guys don't usually complain about this stuff. Not only that, disregard that pays well. Some guys realize it is survival. It is what they could get, right? If they could get these jobs, they're willing to do it. Why are there a lot of all these immigrant men, right? Willing to do all these jobs, working at fast food, working as a street vendors, right? Because these are the only job they could get. They can't just be going out there complaining, right? When it comes to women, they often complain about this kind of stuff. Complaining things that don't matter, complaining things that doesn't exist, complain about things that don't truly benefit anything, right? Guys don't do that. Guys usually take the grunt of the work. They know what's need to be done. They know what's need to be focused on to achieve peace, to achieve harmony, to achieve solidarity, to achieve all this kind of stuff, right? For survival, right? They don't usually complain. They could get what they could get, right? Why do you think guys are willing to forego all these amenities just to have certain kind of jobs, right? Why do you think most guys out there are blue collar workers? Because most guys don't usually complain. It takes a lot for a guy to complain, right? When it comes to women, they complain about the most trivial things, the smallest things. All right, for example, right? For example, the Survivor, right? Battle of the Sexes. If you haven't seen that episode, try to go watch it. I can't find a clip for it, but it's a Survivor episode where they put Battle of the Sexes between men and women, right? The comparison, right? Between those two sexes on that island, right? The women, what do they do most of the time, right? Instead of finding solution for their survival, what do they decide to do? They just sit there and complain about it, arguing, bickering, right? Fighting amongst each other instead of finding a solution who could survive. Now, a contrast between the women's tribe and the men's tribe. What did the men's tribe do? The men already know what to do. They have a role. They don't need to be told what to do. One guy said, "Hey, I'll gather wood and start a fire." Another guy said, "Hey, I'll start fishing and try to get fish." Another guy's like, "All right, we'll go hunt for some protein." Right? Every man has a role. They wasn't complaining. They know what to do to survive in these harsh conditions. Right? They wasn't depending on anybody. Guys don't need to be told what to do. They already know what to do. They have the instinctual of what to do to survive. Women can't do that, right? They were arguing with each other just for water, just for cleaning, just to find food, who's to be a leader, who's willing to be a leader, right? They were arguing about all these trivial things. When it comes to a guy, they have everything all pinned out. No guy was telling each other what to do. They already have a role in society, right? They wasn't complaining. And what's that lead to? It leads to the men become the winner of the whole shows, right? The men wasn't struggling. The men was happy, right? The woman was miserable. All they did was complaining. The men accept what they had to do. right? No matter how dirty, how filthy, how dangerous, right? Even what there's a segment in the show where a guy hunted an alligator or something, right? He know the risk and he know the reward, right? The risk he might get killed by the alligator. The reward is high because he provided a lot of food for the tribe, for the men's tribe. So he willing to take that risk. He wasn't complaining, right? That's one segment of the show. But for women, they were showing them try to cross the island and they got lost at the island. They went in circles the whole time, right? So that's what I'm referring to. That men don't often complain. It takes a lot for a guy to complain. It takes a lot of suffering for guys to complain. Usually in society, men out there doing all the suffering, doing the back-breaking labor, right? Women don't do that. Women are taking this office job. They're taking this pencil-pushing job, right? This button-pushing job. But all they do is complain all the time. They complain about, oh, equal pay when it's already been defunct is a myth, right? It's illegal to pay one person higher than another person, right? This wage gap, this wage myth, right? They complain about that. They complain about sexual harassment. They complain about all these stuff that's not non-existent. Most of this stuff are proven to be false, right? In some cases, some scenarios. But they find things to complain about. Not only that, in marriage as well. A guy's do all he can. He's suffered so much. He's been with this woman, right? He sacrificed a lot of his time. But what do the women do? The woman complain that she's not happy, right? She's unsatisfied in the marriage, and what he do? She put the man to more suffering by getting divorced. Put him to divorce court. Have him pay for all the attorney fees. Right? All the court fees, that's come out the man's pocket. When a woman divorced a man, all the expense come out the man. The man have responsibility to pay for his lawyer and the woman's lawyer at the same time. Right? Not only that, and then most likely he'll lose in the marriage, in the relationship, in the court, right? And he have to pay alimony. There's no incentive at all. Right? And then she have enough to complain about everything. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Women in the society are nothing but complainers. I'm not trying to bash them, but I'm just pointing out the contrast. This is what I'm seeing. Right? They all complain. They just can't accept the things the way they are. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. I expect marriage to be like this. Well, you signed up for the thing. All right? Nothing is perfect. This world is imperfect, right? But the thing is, guys understand that. Guys know the world's imperfect. We're willing to do what it takes to survive. We're willing to take the dirtiest job out there, right? We're willing to take the most dangerous job out there, but we understand the consequences and the risks, right? We understand things more, right? This is why guys are really complainers, right? Guys don't complain that much. It takes a lot. A beating for the man for him to be complaining about stuff. And if he's easily complaining about stuff, he's a big simp. He's one of those, he's a simp big time. He's a beta male. Only beta male complain about stuff, right? Only beta male go protest about all these stupid stuff, right? Real men don't complain. Why do you think a lot of enlisted military men out there, men who join the military, they understand what it takes to be a soldier. They don't complain about it. Right? They don't complain about it. They make it all the way to the end of boot camp, end of graduations, right? Because the reward is so high. You get all these benefits when you come out the military. You get the GI Bill so they can further their education. You get all these amenities, right? They're willing to take that risk, take that suffering for that gain, for the reward at the end. They're not complaining, right? But we have these small men out there who complain, which is basically beta male simps, right? But back to my point, right? Guys don't complain about it. It takes a lot for guys to complain, right? It takes a lot. It takes something like unfair, injustice, greed of corporations for men to complain, right? It takes like working condition, right? A harsh working condition, right? Something like that. Something to an extreme length for men to complain about. And even though it's extreme length, sometimes then men don't even complain about it. They're willing to take that risk, right? Why do you think all those men who cross the borders are primarily men, I might say, right? All those migrants, right, that come across the border are primary men. Do you see them complaining? No, they're willing to take that risk, right? No matter what race they are, what part of the country they are, There's a difference between men and women. Women usually stay at home, don't want to take the risk, and men are willing to take the risk, crossing borders, crossing the sea. You see all these people in a boat crossing what the from Cuba. Those are many men, right? Or those guys in northern Africa crossing to the what's that? The Adriatic Sea, right? Making it to the Europe continent. Those are many men. They willing to take that risk. They wasn't complaining, right? Men don't often complain no matter what, no matter race, culture, what it is. Men often know what are the risks and they're willing to take that risk, right? While women are not willing to take the risk, right? That's why a lot of women out there, like feminist organizations, those are just complaining women. Women who complain a lot. Women who complain about things that doesn't exist or things that rarely exist or things that's not even a big problem in society right now. Or saying that we have a great culture in the Western Hemisphere, which is a false. We are not a great culture. We only have good people and bad people, and only the bad people are doing that. Those simps are doing that, right? Those are the weak male who's reinforcing these great cultures, right? But strong men, alpha men we don't pursue that kind of activity, right? We take the grunt of the work, right? Those are the difference, right? Men don't often complain. Men complain very little. Women are the most complainers out there, right? And if a man will complain, they're busy the simps, the foot soldier for the feminist groups. That's what it is. So back to my point that men don't often complain. It takes a lot for men to complain, right? Men complain less than women. Women complain more than men, all right? If you fail to see that, I don't know how to think for you. I don't know how to explain it even more clear and concise for you, right? But on that note, do you agree with me? Do you agree that men don't often complain? Do you think that it takes a lot for men to complain? Right? Why are men taking these jobs if they're not complainers? Right? Right? All these oil working rig, guys who work in the oil rig, guys who take dangerous jobs, they're willing to take that risk, but they're not complaining about it. Do you think women complain more than men? Let me know if you agree. Leave a comment below, and as always, right? Like, share, subscribe. I drop a video daily. On that note, guys, if you want to support me, please like, share, and subscribe. And on that note, guys, as always, peace and blessings.